How a prank turned a group into murder hobos. Hi everyone, All Things D&D is back with another story. I think D&D can really be simplified into a group of people who's coming up with the worst plan ever, and the inevitable happens. Well, this is a perfect example of a plan kind of almost working out in the end. Maybe? You decide after listening to this prank going as poorly as you imagine it will. So, I'm running Curse of Strahd for a party of 4 people. D'Artanan, Goliath Fighter, Jerry, Half-Elf Monk, Karn, Tiefling Paladin, Bell, Tiefling Cleric. Karn and Bell are siblings. The party had reached Vallaki, and the Festival of the Blazing Sun was upon them. That morning, D'Artanan woke up and decided to cause chaos. He immediately started planning a prank to pull. He walked outside of the Blue Water Inn and saw the platform where the sun would be placed at noon, and he knew what to do. He recruited the young impressionable Bell and the relaxed go-with-the-flow Jerry to aid him in his mischief. He devised the brilliant plan of getting beef tallow and smearing it on the steps of the platform to make the Burgomaster slip and fall. A fun prank, he thought, but to execute it, he would need a distraction. This is where Belle chimes in. "We could start a fire," she says. Everyone agrees. They should start a fire. But what kind of fire? Their first thought was a garbage can, but they realize that won't be enough to distract everyone. "What about a pillow?" Belle says. Everyone agrees. Yes, light a pillow on fire, then throw it in the middle of the street. It's the perfect distraction. Where should we get the pillow is the next question. No one wants to volunteer their pillow, nor does anyone want to spend money on a pillow. So they decide to steal one from someone's house at 9 in the morning while they're still home. They knew the perfect target, a house that D'Artanan had previously shot an arrow into, then threatened the man that confronted him about the vandalism. The owner of the house quickly went back inside and tried to ignore D'Artanan. They devised a plan to get a pillow from this poor household. The plan was that D'Artanan would break a window, then stumble to the front door and apologize to the man for his behavior. D'Artanan would then offer to buy him a drink at the Blue Water Inn at 9 in the morning. While they went off to drink, Belle and Jerry would go into the empty house and grab a pillow. A quick in and out, easy job. Time to execute the plan. D'Artanan breaks the window, and all 3 of the characters hear children and a few adults yelp in surprise. They thought this house had 1 resident. It had 8, 3 adults and 5 children. D'Artanan decides to continue the plan. He stumbles to the front door and bangs on it loudly. "Hey, I'm sorry about the window and the arrow. Come on out so I can apologize." The door does not open. Instead, a voice says, "It's all right. Please just leave us be and never come back." No, come on out. I got some gold for you." Gold? The door opens a bit. D'Artanan shoves his massive foot into the door to prevent it from being closed again. "Yeah, I got some gold, but first let me apologize by taking you out for a drink." "Oh, that's all right then. Please, just leave me and my family be." He tries to close the door. D'Artanan shoves it open drunkenly and grabs the guy. "Come on, I'm apologizing to you properly." He drags the man outside. D'Artanan turns to Belle and Jerry, who are crouching under the broken window in the alley, and nods to them. They nod back, and Belle takes off her boot to clear the broken glass from the windowsill. The children remain silent in fear as Jerry boosts Belle up, and a devil person rolls into their house through a broken window right after their father was abducted by a 7-foot-tall bald man. "Hey, it's okay," Belle says to the children. They scream and run to the adults. The adults now see her. They panic and start running out of the house while screaming. "Wait, don't be scared," Belle yells while grabbing one of the adults. "I just want a pillow. Here's some gold. Just calm down." The man did not calm down. He broke from her grip and ran, calling for the guards. The man D'Artanan is walking to the Blue Water Inn notices the screams of his family and turns to look. In a moment of sobriety, D'Artanan straightens up, leans into him and says low and threatening, "Don't pay attention to that." The man stiffens and continues to walk with D'Artanan, terrified for his life. Jerry realizes things are not going to plan and decides to book it back to the inn. Belle frantically looks for a pillow, finds one upstairs and runs outside just in time to see a group of guards speaking with the terrified residents. She knows she's running out of time. She runs back to the inn. D'Artanan, seeing Belle with the pillow, lets his hostage go, and seeing the guards beginning to mount a search for them, he decides his best course of action will be to try to blend in by leaning on a wall in an alley. A 7-foot-tall, bald, gray-skinned man with tattoos is trying to blend into the crowd by leaning against a wall. Surprisingly, the 6 guards spot him and approach him with the intent of arresting him. He responds in the best way possible. "No." "We weren't asking." "Then you'll have to make me," he says as he draws his sword. Roll initiative. D'Artanan goes first and decapitates the closest guard. At this point, I'm thinking we just went from prank to breaking and entering to murder, all before noon. The fight continues. D'Artanan is holding his own very well. He'll probably beat them even though he's so outnumbered. until the other 6 guards start approaching. At this point, Belle has reached the inn with her stolen pillow, where she sees her brother Karn enjoying breakfast. "Come on, we have to help D'Artagnan. He's probably about to get arrested," she tells Karn. "What? Never mind, lead the way," Karn sighs. They start running to where D'Artagnan is fending off a dozen guards. Where's Jerry, you might ask? Well, he decided it's in his best interest to get as far away from the scene of the crime as possible. He just started running north and isn't going to stop until he gets to the wall. Karn and Belle arrive shortly after the guard reinforcements do. "Don't kill anyone!" Belle yells out. D'Artagnan looks to the 4 bodies at his feet. "Too late." "Damn," Karn mutters. Belle and Karn begin surrounding the guards one at a time to use non-lethal force. While D'Artagnan tries not to kill any more guards, he gets surrounded and brought down to unconsciousness. It takes a round of combat for Belle and Karn to reach D'Artagnan. 1 failed death save. The final guard strikes at D'Artagnan, the man who killed his friends, right in front of him, and misses before running for his life. Now, you would think a paladin and a cleric standing over a bleeding out party member would heal them at least a little bit. Not this cleric and paladin. They just forgot D'Artagnan was literally about to die. They decided the best course of action was to sit down for 10 minutes to cast Prayer of Healing to heal D'Artagnan and the few living guards. Luckily, D'Artagnan succeeds the next 3 death saving throws. Unluckily, that gives Izek Stronzi enough time to rally the other 12 guards and investigate the scene, where 3 strangers assaulted Wallachians. While Belle is trying to convince the now healed guards that she isn't a bad person, the fresh guards begin surrounding them. Izek steps forward, his devil arm in full view. "Lay down your weapons. You're outnumbered and surrounded. There's no hope for you now." Karn steps forward. "Look, this is all just a big misunderstanding. Nobody meant to cause any harm here." "I understand my men are dead. Lay down your arms or we will cut you down." "We can't do that." "Then burn!" Izek throws a fireball that Karn deflects with his shield. Izek then steps back behind his men. Karn pushes through his men to get at the Devil Man. He swings his sword, but Izek slips his blade and strikes twice with his axe. The first swing is a nat 20, taking over half of Karn's HP. The next one hits as well, bringing Karn down to 0 in 1 turn. The guards fall onto Karn and restrain him with ropes. D'Artagnan sees this happen and moves through a building to flank Izek, which succeeds. They fight one-on-one, going toe-to-toe. Jerry, realizing he might have abandoned his friends to something worse than a fire, rushes to their aid, flanking the guards. He uses his speed and radiant sunbolts to control the battlefield. When he sees Karn down, he rushes over to feed him a healing potion. While Karn and D'Artagnan rushed off to fight Izek, 8 guards surrounded Belle. Belle's a very tanky cleric, but no one can take 2 rounds of 8 attacks all with advantage. She goes down. Karn wakes up and uses his turn to break the restraints and stand up. Belle fails a death save. Karn kills a guard between him and Belle. Belle fails a death save. Karn pushes forward and kills a guard on top of Belle. Belle fails her final death save. Karn gives her 19 points of lay on hands, but she remains cold. He sits silent while the sounds of battle rage around him. The sounds of people dying, but he can't hear her. His only sister, the only true family he had, snuffed from his life because of the pillow she still had clutched to her chest. He stood, and in a rage killed every man near his sister. He saw Izek run, clutching bleeding wounds. He saw the few guards run, some unscathed. Pyrrhic victory. That's all he could think as he scooped up Belle and ran to the inn, hoping Rictavio would know what to do. I think it could have gone worse, all things considered. These are the kind of dumb plans that my group would try to pull off. How about you? Please let us know what you think and comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, All Things D&D. Our videos are posted every Tuesday and Friday, so stay tuned for more amazing Dungeons & Dragons content.